Good day, students. I'm Dr. Rachna Mathur, and we are revising Unit 5. We are revising the novel of Hardy, Far from the Madding Crowd. After the revision of Unit 5, we will revise Unit 1, the essays. So be prepared for that because essays are important and write your own notes, make your own notes, make your own notes of both poetry and prose. So, we are revising the unit 5. So, I'm introducing the novel to you, Hardy's, and I'm also introducing something about Hardy. This is revision. I've already given you handwritten notes to you through PDF. So I'm beginning. Hardy's early training as an architect, which he abandoned for literature in 1870. So, in easy words, Hardy was an architect and he left his architecture for literature. So, I'm repeating Hardy's early training as an architect, which he abandoned for literature in 1870, gave him a fine sense of construction. He builds up his theme with powerful economy. There is a little extraneous ornament, but every phase seems to contribute to the final rhythm. From the beginning, his architectural training revealed itself in the use of precise vocabulary, of description, and a fondness for the exact word. Now, Hardy's plot. Hardy's plot are for the most part simple. The passion he depicts are the elemental passions of love, greed, jealousy, ambition, thirst for power and knowledge, etc. The springs of action that move his character are psychological. So, what I am discussing with you can be the answer of a question. I am repeating the question. Write a note on Hardy's plot construction with special reference to Far from the Madding Crowd. So, we have discussed introduction about the writer. Then we discussed Hardy's plot. Now I'm discussing Bathsheba's suitors. In Far from the Madding Crowd, we find a young woman and three men. Bathsheba, so the young woman is Bathsheba. Then three men are Gabriel Oak, Boldwood, and Troy. Bathsheba Everdeen is hot and hasty. Of the three men who fall in love with her, Gabriel Oak is a generous and he is a true person. Farmer Boldwood's natural manner has always been dark and strange. Sergeant Troy is a clever fellow and up to everything. With such a strongly contrasted trio of suitors, things are bound to happen, and they do. First, Oak falls in love with her and soon proposes, in rather a bull at a gate manner. So, Bull at a gate manor. She refuses him, though not all that definitely. Hardy then contrives a tremendous reversal in fortune for both. Oak loses all he has in a disastrous sheep stampede, while Bathsheba becomes, by inheritance, a very wealthy tenant farmer and later Oak's employer. After being drawn so close together, they are now hurried apart, apparently forever. The sort of violent upheaval Hardy often makes use of his novel to promote contrast. Now we are talking about the central section of the novel. The central section of the novel is a long one. This consists of the wild vicissitudes which Bathsheba experiences in love and marriage. These involve first the apparently dull but highly passionate Boldwood, then the superficially attractive but cruel and immoral Surgeon Troy. She marries him in haste to repent at leisure. She is drawn to Boldwood after Troy's apparent death, and a tragic climax follows, involving both. But after all the tumult and suffering, Oak is still there, the faithful man, with a love that now includes understanding and sympathy to claim Bathsheba. She has now become a wiser woman, able to rate Oak at his true worth. The novel closes quietly with their quiet marriage. Now we will discuss the use of contrast in the novel. Hardy's skill in construction is chiefly apparent in his subtle use of contrast throughout the book. The plot is developed by means of series of encounters between the main characters. These confrontations map out their changing relationship and are occasionally varied by direct comments from Hardy. For example, character sketches of Boldwood and Troy. There is plenty of pace and surprise in Far From the Madding Crowd. Swiftly moving action like the pursuit of supposed horses. Sorry, I'm repeating. There's plenty of pace and surprise in Far From the Madding Crowd, swiftly moving action like the pursuit of supposed horse thieves, altering, alternating with those low, timeless conversation at Warren's Malt House. Nevertheless, all the characters are swept along, some moving fast, others drifting with the current. Now we are talking about the use of coincidences. Coincidences also occur in Far From the Madding Crowd, but they are not overdone. They occur in the novel just as they occur in life. Indeed, most of the flaws that mar Hardy's other novels are entirely absent. Hardy provides ample explanation for the coincidences that influence the lives of the character of Far From the Madding Crowd. Oak's appearance at the end of the chapter 14, Boldwood presents under the portico of the Old Corn Exchange in chapter 48, Troy's dramatic entry in chapter 53. All these and other incidents are accounts for credibly enough. Thus, we find that the novel has an interesting plot. So, this is important that we find that the novel has an interesting plot. We read the story from chapter to chapter breathlessly. Love is the chief subject of the story. The story develops logically from the first page to the last. The logic of events is quite clear. There is economy and accuracy of details. Every action and incident contributes to the development of the story. It is a novel of atmosphere, romance, and passions. So, students, try to write the plot of the novel in your own words. Thank you, students.